Showers and thunderstorms Friday, cold snap Sunday, Monday, and a chance for maybe a few flurries. Our play ball forecast, 70 degrees, our high temperature, and then 60s this evening. Southwest winds at around 15 to 30 miles per hour. Our countdown here, 6 days until average highs in the 50s, average first flurries in about 10 days, Thanksgiving in 22 days, and Christmas is in just 50 days. We've got a big weather history here with some local stuff in it as well. Just 1 second. I was just making sure everything was good there. All right, so moving along here, 1985. This shows you the power and the danger of flooding here. Catastrophic flooding in West Virginia, Pennsylvania from the remnants of Hurricane Juan. And this slow-moving upper-level trough moved eastward over the Ohio Valley, high-pressure ridge over the eastern seaboard, and low-level jet stream carrying large quantities of moisture from the Gulf of Mexico, Gulf of America, the Gulf, whatever you want to call it, combined to form the storm. Rainfall amounts ranged up to 20 inches. Some flood peaks were the greatest ever recorded. Nearly 20,000 homes were damaged, dozens of bridges damaged and washed away. 62 people died, and property damage was estimated at $1.4 billion. 1985. 1987, flash floods, another flooding one here, stranded 8,000 people in Death Valley National Park in Southern California as more than an inch of rain fell. Doesn't seem like much. Washing out many roads, 30 vehicles stranded, and some hail. 1991, Typhoon Thelma, one of the most devastating tropical systems that hit the Philippines in the 20th century. Reports of 5,000 people dying in that catastrophic event, with dam failures, landslides, extensive flash flooding. And then 1991, Indianapolis had a record low temperature for today's date at 15 degrees. Louisville sets a record low of 18 on the same year, the same day. So we had a cold spell, 1991. 2002, Alabama's perfect record for the year was spoiled when a man was killed in his home when a tornado struck Abbeville. 5 days later, a larger tornado outbreak killed 12 people in the state. And then last year, Louisville sets a record high temperature of 81. That's back-to-back record highs for Louisville, yesterday's date and today's date. Our weather jokes here, although not always weather-related, but they're always stupid. What do you call bears with no ears? B. Get it? EARS. You take that out and you're just left with B. Good kindergarten joke there. What happens to a talking tree when you cut it down? It will dialogue. Die a log. Dad, can you explain what a solar eclipse is? No, son. No, sun. No, S-U-N. Why is it bad to eat a clock? Because it's so time-consuming. We're moving on. All right, here's your forecast today. Christian, that'll be Friday for you, for that rain chance. We'll take a look here in just a sec with the weather models. Today's forecast for our Wednesday, November 5th, 70 degrees, sunny and breezy, 20 to 30 mile per hour wind gusts. Our sunset at 5:39. And tonight's low temperature, a little bit cooler out there, 41 our low, a little bit chilly, light north breeze. The winds will calm down tonight after some gusty conditions today. And tomorrow's forecast for our Thursday, November the 6th, some lower 40s getting started, so some jacket weather there. 50s at noon and 62, so a touch cooler tomorrow afternoon, but right at our normal high temperature at 62 degrees. Orlean, enjoying the weather history too. Thank you. Thank you for that. Here's the 7-day forecast. So we'll stay in the 60s through Saturday. We've got the front that'll likely be here Friday morning and into part of the afternoon. Should be drying out, I'd say, mid-afternoon Friday for much of the area, and then 64 Saturday, quiet in between systems there. Then we've got that, I would say, our first winter feel, the crashing temperatures here, Sunday, Monday. We're looking at lower 40s, so a 20-degree drop in temperatures from Saturday to Sunday, down to the 20s Sunday night, down to the 20s Monday night. So we get a hard freeze. That'll kill off the bugs, get rid of the pollen, totally the end of the growing season, which we're already at the end of. Anyway, there might be a couple flurries that try to mix in. I don't think we'll get much precipitation out of this system Sunday and Monday. The Euro is showing some flurry chances Monday. The GFS was dry. So we might sneak in a couple snowflakes. We'll see. I think the best chance of that's probably Sunday overnight period when we've got that cold air in place. Lily and Lasley always got my back with the jokes. Glad you enjoy. And we're talking about that right now here, Christian. You might get a few of those flurries on Sunday. And Veterans Day next week, 48 degrees. We're starting to climb out of that brief cold snap with 58 degrees next Wednesday. It is 10:18, and so we are ready to fire up the weather models here, and we'll time out our Friday rain in detail here for you. So let me bring it up. Let me get rid of that and bring this up here. There's our current conditions. We've got a dry front moving through today. You can see the cold air up to the northwest. We're not really going to get much of that cold air. It just gets a little bit cooler. Again, lower 40s tonight and lower 60s for tomorrow. And I'm going to bring up the NAM 3 kilometer, a high resolution weather model. It's going to take us through our Friday. And I'm going to start off Friday morning on the 7th. We'll go here. We back up our view, NAM 3 kilometer, reflectivity, and into our Friday morning. And while that loads, a little sip. So there we go. There you can see that rain. Christian, you were asking about it as well. So you're going to see it heading your direction here on Friday. I need to get rid of my little drawing there. There we go. So this is at 5 a.m. I'm going to jump this ahead to 8 o'clock Friday morning. Here comes that cold front. There you can see it moving through Indianapolis. So you'll get that rain in the morning time up there in Indy, Christian. And John with a good morning and congratulations to Christian Walker on the new job. Very nice. So that is at 8 o'clock. I'm going to jump ahead to 10 o'clock Friday morning. Notice southern Indiana getting that rain first. Some breezy rain showers here. And as we go towards lunchtime on Friday, I would say it's midday is probably the best chance of rain for most of us in our area. So late morning, early afternoon kind of time frame for Friday. Going into the afternoon, this is at 2 p.m. Notice southern Indiana is starting to dry out. And then Kentucky has some lingering showers and maybe a few thunderstorms as well. This is at 3 p.m. And this is at 4 o'clock. That rain's starting to move off to the east. So it's a pretty short-lived rain event. Very low threat of severe weather with this. And we might pick up quarter, half inch of rainfall since it's moving quickly enough. So not a real significant system. Now, with that said, I'm going to go ahead and bring up the Climate Prediction Center. They are a division of the National Weather Service out of Norman, Oklahoma. Their one big job is to look across the United States and see where severe weather might happen. So day 1, day 2, nothing happening. We're going to go to day 3, and there you can see we've got a little bit of action here. So not really any threat in southern Indiana, but notice we've got level 1 and 2 in Kentucky. The level 2 is the yellow area around Bowling Green. That does include Hart, Greene, Taylor, Adair, and Marion counties. LaRue County as well there for you, Orlean. I think that this is for the chance of some isolated strong wind gusts if we get a thunderstorm to develop, because there are some strong winds in the atmosphere. And sometimes if you get a thunderstorm to grow into that, it can kind of channel those strong winds to the ground. So that is that. But most of Indiana, as you can see, no threat of severe weather for Friday. But something to look at there with the day 3 risk of severe storms from. We can also look. This is the wind probabilities of some strong wind gusts. There you go. Moving right along here. Christian, 80% chance of rain Friday. I mean, it's pretty close to 100% chance that you'll get some raindrops on Friday, if that's what you were referencing there. Just back to a quick look before we get into the weather models. Look at all that sunshine across the region. There's a few clouds up to the north. Closest rain really up towards the Great Lakes. Really quiet conditions. Our ISO bars, the lines of equal air pressure, are somewhat tight. These are lines of air pressure. And so that means the air is flowing through that at a pretty good clip. It is a little bit breezy. So that's why we're going to have some pretty good wind gusts. Dry front, though, moving into the area. You've got low pressure right here up around the Great Lakes and a front right about there. But it's moisture starved. So as it moves through our region, you're really not going to notice it other than it's going to be kind of gusty out there with the windy conditions. All right. Let's talk crashing temperatures. So we got the Friday rain we just timed out. And by the way, we can bring up the rainfall totals forecast here. Total precipitation. Maybe I need this one. Okay, this is rainfall total for our Friday. And not a big deal. Not worried about any flooding. Right now, we've got a bullseye of potentially some heavier rain toward Lexington, central Kentucky, where you might get some 1-inch amounts there. Southern Indiana, not as much of that rain. So I would say, quarter, half inch maybe of rainfall there for our Friday. Okay, now let's talk temps. I'm going to switch this over to our temperature mode with the GFS weather model. That's not a good color that you want to see if you don't like cold weather, because that is cold weather. And look at that dropping in from Canada. Jet stream taking a dive, opening the door to old man winter-like temperatures. So this is a map on 7 a.m. on the 10th, Monday morning. We're going to back this up first. This is showing basically 20s all over the place. Even cold down towards the Gulf Coast. Chilly stuff. And so when we so that's the temperatures Monday morning. And when we bring up the jet stream winds, look at this dive in the jet stream. Pretty interesting. This is crazy. Jet stream goes way up like this. That is a huge amplified ridge. It'll be warm out west under that ridge, but then it takes a huge dive. And in these troughs in the jet stream, this is around 18,000 feet, you get cold weather. This is all cold stuff filling in the trough. So that's where we're got a brief, big cold snap on the way. So let's bring up the temperature map here. So this is going to get us used to. We got to get gradually used to winter-like conditions, and this will help us do that, I guess. So this is Sunday. I'm going to zoom in here, and we're going to watch these temperatures crash. And I'm going to bring this back to Saturday. Saturday right there. Notice, it's actually going to be pretty mild Saturday. There you can see we are in the 60s here. We're on the warm side Saturday. But then as we look ahead here, there you can see the temperatures crashing Saturday night. It'll be warmest probably Sunday morning for Sunday, but it's going to be kind of an opposite day where there's basically no warm up for us. This is now looking at Sunday afternoon. Woo, that's looking chilly. We're probably talking upper 30s, low 40s for Sunday afternoon. Time to break out the bigger coats here, guys. The coldest air we've had so far this season. The weather models have been doing a good job with it. We've been talking about this cold snap for a long time now. So, the long-range forecast, the bin on a limb actually panning out with the long-range data as the European and the GFS and the Canadian long-range data all agrees with this cold snap. So now we're going into Sunday night, and that's that pink color. Now we're into Monday morning, and we'll look at some of these temperatures here. Even show some lower 20s. We might get some lower 20s in some outlying areas. This will be a hard freeze for us, which is good. Again, it's good to get a good freeze this time of the year. Into the growing season, into the bug season, gets rid of the wasps and the hornets, those yellow jackets